Hello, my name is Mara Pacheco. I am calling from Miami, Florida, and I have a question. Where can I get a HELOC for an investment property? The property is paid for. I just needed a HELOC just in case to have it open for emergency and for reserves. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mara. So she wants to get a home equity line of credit on an investment property. It's basically a second mortgage that works kind of like a credit card. Your lender gives you access to a credit line. You set a certain dollar amount, 50, 60, 70,000, whatever it's going to be, and you draw on that line of credit up to and as much as needed. That's how it works. Your credit line access is known as that drawing period, so it usually lasts for like 10 years is usually the amount of time that they can do this. You can get, yes, a home equity line of credit on an investment property. It is a little bit more difficult, and they are hard. They are hard to find. The reason they're hard to find is because many banks consider it to be more risky. Think about it. You live in a house, your primary mortgage, you live in a house, and now you have an investment property and you have a mortgage on that, and you want a home equity line of credit on that investment property. If for some reason your income in life changes or you lose your job, most people are going to pay their mortgage of the house they live in first, so they don't lose the roof over their head. And so the reason banks see this as riskier is because they assume that they're going to be a low man on the totem pole, as far as you paying them back for this home equity line of credit. If you have a mortgage that you live in, plus you have a mortgage on the investment property, and now we're adding another mortgage. So they are difficult to find, but they are out there. So you can shop around. Easiest thing to do would be like go to lendingtree.com and put in what kind of mortgage needs you have, and those kind of shop it around. Another option for you is just to go to your local real estate meetup groups. There will be bankers there who go to those groups. So go to meetup.com and look for the local RIA meeting in your town. Connect with other real estate investors and talk to them about lenders that they've worked with locally for home equity lines of credit. You will find them. You just have to spend the time and shop around on it. You might, though, want to consider that maybe a home equity line of credit, is not necessarily the best option for you. I'll get to that in a second. There might be some better options that you might not have even thought of. But some things to think about in order to qualify for a home equity line of credit, you're going to need about a 720 to 740 minimum credit score on these types of loans. They're going to, no 620. They're going to want to know that you really have the ability to pay this back. You're going to have a maximum, they'll give you a maximum loan to value ratio of about 80%. So let's say the house is worth 100,000. Right away, they're only going to give you 80% of that. If you had the whole thing paid off, right? The maximum they'd likely give you is 80,000, not 100% of that 100,000. Hope that makes sense. A tenant occupying the property for a longer term, they want to know that the tenant has been there. There's a track record of this tenant paying. They'll need to see a lease agreement. They're going to want to see that this account and this property is taken care of, and that you're not totally reliant on this cash flow. Like you have means to be able to pay this thing back. They're also going to want to make sure that you have at least 18 months of liquid reserves. 18 months in your account of liquid reserves in order to pay this back. So again, if the mortgage payment is $1,000 a month, they're going to want to see that you have at least $18,000 to maybe $20,000 in a bank account that could pay this loan back if you need to. So some things to consider, but here are some other options you might not have thought about. We have a funding tab right on our website at Morris Invest. So if you go to Morris Invest, you'll see funding right at the top. Now, what if you could get a 0% interest line of credit loan that's not a home equity line of credit, but instead uses business credit cards? So, and I was able to, in my first round with our team, our friends at Fund and Grow, and if you use our link, you'll actually save $500 on the sign up, but then you'll get a 0% interest loan that you can use whenever you want. And I was able to get $175,000 at 0% interest for the first 18 months. And you can use it for home repairs. I bought additional rental properties with that amount and then was able to refi later into 30-year notes with those mortgages. That's one thing to do. Another thing is maybe getting a personal loan. So it's not tied to the asset. You may qualify for a personal loan as up to like $100,000. That might be an option for you. There's typically no restrictions at all on how that money is spent. And maybe a cash out refinance would be a better option. Instead of trying to do a home equity line of credit, if you've built up a significant amount of equity in the property, you might benefit from a cash out refinance. This type of refinance allows you to take out a new mortgage for more than what you currently owe. And the new loan serves two purposes: paying off your existing investment property loan and pulling equity out of your rental property. So it would pay off that first loan, and it would give you that equity back in the form of a cash out refinance. So some options there, and I want you to think about them, but definitely check out the funding tab on our website at morrisinvest.com/funding. If you would like to ask a question, just go to our website. Go to morrisinvest.com/Clayton. That's where you can leave us a 30-second voicemail question, and we will answer right here on the show. We'll see you next time, everyone.